Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Pioneer video. And today, we're going to be trolling people. And I mean that very literally. Sean put together a very interesting Pioneer deck built around cards like Clackbridge Troll that give your opponents creatures. Now, normally, this is supposed to be a downside that is supposed to balance an otherwise strong card. So, for example, Dowsing Dagger over here gives your opponent 2/0/2 plant tokens. And if you end up transforming this thing by getting in the red zone with the equipment, you get a land that taps for 3 mana of any one color, which is absurd. That's like a Black Lotus worth of value every turn, right? So it's supposed to be, hey, you get these plants to balance out my otherwise strong card. What we're going to do, though, is play cards like Trespasser's Curse that whenever a creature enters the battlefield under enchanted player's control, that player loses a life and you gain a life, and Rampaging Ferocidon. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, Rampaging Ferocidon deals 1 damage to that creature's controller. So our plan is to play out these curses and these dinosaurs and then hurt our opponents while playing these cards. And to get super cute with it, we're also going to play Panharmonicon. If an artifact or creature entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability to trigger, it triggers an additional time. So our goal is essentially to bleed our opponent to death with these triggers while playing the daggers and the trolls that will allow us to really stack up that damage. So it's a super cute idea. Kind of my question going into the league is like, is this actually powerful enough and or fast enough to work in Pioneer? Some of the decks, like the Ledger Shredder, Arclight Phoenix deck, can be very fast and relatively consistent. And we kind of have a lot of moving parts here. This is kind of a 3-card combo that doesn't necessarily end the game on the spot. But it's going to be very fun, and we'll probably get some interesting comments in chat. As far as the rest of the deck goes, we have a little bit of card draw, we have a little bit of interaction, a little bit of life gain slash that like rattlesnake effect of like, hey, don't attack me because there's a downside to it. Most of the sideboard here is kind of traditional stuff. I'm going to highlight Bantu's Last Reckoning since this one doesn't see a lot of play. Draw creatures, but lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. With that said, let's go ahead and hop into the league. This should be shenanigans, it should be fun, and hopefully we can put up some wins with it too. If you're new here and you like the content, please consider subscribing for more fun, janky content like this one. And if you're a regular, throw me a like before this video begins. It's especially important on these Pioneer videos as this is a new format and not as many of my followers are interested in this format. All right, let's battle. Okay, so this is a hand that has a draw 2 on turn 2 to try to find more gas, but otherwise kind of does nothing. With 0 experience with this deck, I'm not sure if I am supposed to keep this hand. I think I'm going to, but I don't know if that is correct. Like, match 1 with a new deck is often tricky because, like, you have no idea of what, like, the heuristics for what a keep is for this hand. Sorry, for this deck, rather. Opponent went to 5. So we'll see if they are doing something degenerate or if they were just kind of a little unlucky to start with. Sure. Let's go ahead and sign in blood myself here. And hope this turns into a respectable hand. Hey, that's a reasonable pair of cards, even if it doesn't necessarily combo together to do our thing immediately. Alright. No card from my opponent here. Alright, I'm starting to see the pieces come together. There's a very good chance that I am just casting this card into a counterspell here, but I think I'm okay with that. Oh, they are making a treasure token. That's fine. I think no, it doesn't have flashback. Played against this once before. It's something along the lines of like trying to cast this from their graveyard for a reduced cost. I don't remember exactly how it works. Hey. Probably cast the Panharmonic on this turn and then go for double Dowsing Dagger next turn. But I'm fine with taking my attack first and going from there. Yeah. Let's play the Panharmonicon this turn. Then, like, I can play both of these and a tapped land next turn. Or I might even just, like, save this to cycle it at this point. Alright, we're getting something end of turn. Just another Magma Opus cycle. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 if they make a land drop. They've tapped and untapped all their lands, so they're paying for something. Okay. Yep. That gets a Torrential Gear Hulk, which casts this. You do get double Rampaging Ferocidon triggers, luckily. So this is going to kill my thing. They get a 4/4, and they draw 2 cards. Just, like, objectively much more powerful than what I'm doing. Yep. Oh, nice. I still get the 2 triggers from the Rampaging Ferocidon. A Parting Gift. Alright. So I want to save this until I have something that hurts my opponent. This costs 3 to cycle. I don't want to try to cycle this turn. Let's get this creature out of the way. I'll play my Death Touch Lifelinker. And throw a tapped Blood Crypt into play. Okay, hold on. Panharmonicon is symmetrical, right? No, this is you control. Okay, cool. Just checking for reasons. 5 mana. Okay. Just doing it again. Cool. Yeah, Magma Opus is pretty good. And this is a sorcery, so I didn't have really flexibility to hold that up. Alright, I'll take 6. Or sorry, I'll take 4. I don't even know if this is worth casting at this point. Feels like dead or very close to dead. Sign in blood myself. Ugh, yeah. So there's a shock. I can play this Death Toucher. No, I'm still dead on board, right? Block, take 8. Yeah, I'm still dead on board. Alright, GG. How do I want to approach this matchup? The rest seems pretty respectable. I could leyline. I could leyline in duress. Practice Charm is interesting. I don't know. I'm probably not holding up that mana easily, though. Duress is probably just better than Thoughtseize. I don't know how good Dreadbore is. There's probably, like, Ledger Shredders in there, right? I also don't know how much of the core I can cut. Gifted Aetherborn is probably medium minus in this matchup. If I do take something like that and get these 6 cards in there, that seems reasonable. Yeah, this has a leyline to start with. The mana's a touch awkward, but I think I'm just going to accept that here. I don't necessarily need to Thoughtseize on turn 1 anyway. I am a little unsure how well this deck functions without its graveyard. I just haven't played that many physical games with it. I just actually don't know. Yeah, there's an awful lot of nothing here. Do I take the Consider, or do I just take the 5/6 endgame creature? Probably just still take the 5/6 endgame creature. I tapped land. If I draw a land, I Ferocidon. If I don't, I sign in blood. And then, like, I have my air quotes combo available. For sure. Really need to dress here. I would much rather hit my land drops. So let's sign in blood. Or let's not hit our land drops. Okay. We're like a 24 land deck or something like that, so I'm not, like, super worried about missing a single land drop. Like, we're pretty likely to draw another at some point soon. Yeah. That is indeed awkward. The whole discard the Magma Opus for a treasure token. How much damage is this? Damage, yeah, alright. I'll take the creativity there. Then I'll Thoughtseize you. Take the Gear Hulk there. I have brought myself to 14 by hurting myself. It's not the best. But that's fine. Okay. Duress you. If I keep whiffing on land drops like this, like, my opponent will get to the point where they can just cast these dig through times. I just don't care about this card if my opponent can't get Spell Mastery, though, right? Like, these are 3/3s. Yeah, I'll start taking digs. Yeah, so opponent's up to 6 mana, getting close to this. Do I even play out a Dowsing Dagger? I think since I have multiple of them, you just play out one. This is an artifact only, right? No. Artifacts and our creatures, so I probably shouldn't play this out until it's dealing damage for me. Alright, at some point. Land would be cool. I will junk a leyline at the end of turn here. Oh, opponent's got something end of turn. Sure. Wait. They just did 2 damage to themselves. I think they picked the wrong modes with that card. Oh, and I have 7 cards in hand, not 8, sorry. Alright. That's very good. Hey, it's my 3rd land drop. It is unfortunately the 3rd Dragon Skull Summit, which is very frustrating. But now opponent gets to loot away their bad cards here that are just kind of stuck in their hand. Yeah, so they looted away the Fiery Impulse and then a land. Now they get to start making treasure tokens when this thing attacks, because I've just whiffed on hitting a land drop for 8 draw steps. Which unfortunately means that this other Dig Through Time is on. I imagine my opponent is just immediately casting. Oh, they're just casually casting a Shark Typhoon. Yep. Okay. I get a tapped land. I get to play Ferocidon. But I think my opponent just like very easily races me with Shark Typhoon because I get an 8/8 with Dig Through Time. So not a great situation for me. Yeah, and they're just gonna immediately turn that into mana. I think given my life total, I just like have to block. They're just gonna cast the Dig Through Time now. Oh, they're gonna cast a Magma Opus now. Yep. Alright, well, I'm dead. My deck just absolutely failed to do its thing. Just because, like, we started with 2 lands, and then just didn't draw another, for 8 turns. So, like, such is magic, right? Can't be mad about it. Alright, round 2. My opening hand just doesn't have enough mana to be functional here. This is going to be a mulligan. On 6, this is probably a keep. Probably getting rid of one of these? Question mark. It's possible I'm supposed to keep 1 troll and 4 lands. This Grixis land. Yeah, okay. Ow. This is the cost of good mana and interaction, right? Excuse me? When it ETBs, each opponent discards a card. 7 mana, blanket into a planeswalker. Wiccan as well. Wild. I imagine I'm most afraid of the planeswalker. I am not very good at pressuring a planeswalker here. Go ahead and just get rid of the backside of these cards. Wiccan, though. Wiccan is kind of wild. Alright, so this comes into play untapped. And I will go ahead and curse my opponent. Alright, it's worked. Now we just need to work towards troll mana. I'll only need to hit 1 more land drop. Alright, there goes Quicken, just cycling. I have no idea what Quicken is representing here. Okay, opponent's got another cantrip. Okay, they've got another Quicken. Alright, yeah, they're stuck on lands, which is great for me. We'll go ahead and use this opportunity to sign in blood and then play a tapped land of some kind. Which land do I want to play here? I think there's a very real world where I end up cycling this. I'm just going to play a Blood Crypt here. Not pay the life. See what opponent can do. Oh wow, they're just stuck. So I am going to get to do my thing here. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't I deal 8 damage to myself? Yeah, I don't think I want to cycle this anymore. I think I'm just going to guaranteed play that tapped here. The real question is, like, do I take a turn off to Panharmonicon? Just turn these into deal 6s when I play them. Or Roke's, take 1. My opponent will sacrifice that. I can probably just get rid of the Panharmonicon here. Just, like, not be cute about it and just play troll into dagger. Alright. So, ruins, feel my Blood Crypt, and it is time to start trolling my opponent. So this thing enters, my opponent gets some goats, and then takes 3 from their goats. Always yield to that. Nice. So my opponent taps that, and then I get to just, like, draw a card. So this is a card advantage engine in addition to everything else. And, boy, howdy, are we gonna have trolls. A troll! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This can be 6. So I can Thoughtseize if I want. I will probably Thoughtseize post-combat. So many goats! Alright, gonna drain 3, and then I'll draw another card here. Yep. Dismiss those. Play Dragon Skull Summit. I am back up to 25 life. Drown in the lock here. I'd probably just take the drown in the lock. Yeah, okay. Opponent is ready to concede. They just got stuck on mana, which allowed us to just kind of do our thing. So this is super cute if it gets going. It is, however, pretty painfully slow. So my opponent is a Croxa deck. I could leyline them. I still don't know what the quickens are for. The rest seems okay. Leyline seems okay. Rakdos Charm is probably fast enough here to be reasonable. Reasonable as Graveyard Hate. Like, normally the card's in the deck to just kind of, like, serve as a way to deal a bunch of direct damage once you've given your opponent a bunch of creatures. Gifted Aetherborn is kind of nice versus, like, Bone Crusher Giants that are just played out, but otherwise, like, eh. I think I want this stuff, which probably means cutting 2 of these. Like, the Gifted Aetherborns or the Dreadborns, are like, Dreadbores kind of feel like the only things that are cuttable if I want to keep the rest of the shell intact. I don't really feel like this hand does anything. I go ahead and just mulligan this one. Mana's a little awkward here. I think I keep this, and I think I'm going to toss back the dagger. Just keep my piece of interaction. The mana for this hand gets a lot better if I draw a mountain or swamp, which I did not. Just play the ruins here. Call it a turn. I don't get to curve out, like, the rest into Sign in Blood into something like Dreadbore here because of my mana situation. We'll see if I end up having the my mana doesn't work game now. It's very possible. Let's duress my opponent. Yeah, that's quicken, all right. I'm just going to take their Drown in the lock, though. Their most flexible card that I potentially care about. They had Quicken available and did not Quicken, so, like, their deck must have a use for it. I will probably lose a game if I figure out what that use is. Roxas fine. I'll just junk the Panharmonicon here. Alright, I've got a Blood Crypt. So if I play Rampaging Ferocidon, my opponent just gets to fetch with Fabled Passage and Fatal Push it. Might just be better to Sign in Blood myself this turn rather than play out this creature, because I can try to hit a discard spell to protect this. Sure, you may absolutely Quicken. Okay, I'll just do... I don't need 4 mana next turn. I'm probably just playing Rampaging Ferocidon. I'll just play this so I never have to take the life damage off of it, and I'll intend to play this tap next turn and play Rampaging Ferocidon. What's going on with that Quicken, though? Nice. We've waited out the Fabled Passage. Fire Triton. Mill 2 cards, you gain 2 life. Okay, that's fine. Like, I have a Rampaging Ferocidon. Or sorry, I have a Dreadbore to answer Croxa. My opponent probably plays next turn. Go Ruins here, revealing this, because I need to make sure I have 5 mana available next turn. Play out my Rampaging Ferocidon. Call it a turn. Things get a little awkward if my opponent draws. Actually, this is a blue source. That Crux is not immediately coming back. I don't think I want to block their Death Toucher here. I think I'll just take 2. I don't really want to lose this Ferocidon right now. Like, it's just very valuable with the Troll coming. 4 mana. For Nicol Bolas. Or take your 1. I'll junk like a Dowsing Dagger here, I guess. Alright, do I want to kill this thing immediately? I can just get my Troll going this turn. I think that's better. Because, like, this is an engine and a damage source. Alright, so I take 1 from my creature entering. Then my opponent takes 3 from their goats. And then I will start this card advantage engine / life gain engine, which seems really good here. Yeah. My 3/3 does not want to attack. And now I can start to build up and, like, make these things feel, like, stronger over time. Opponent feeling the cost of ETB tapped lands as well, because I can't bring back Croxa here. I think I'm fine with just taking the 6. Like, I'm gonna gain a bunch of life back. That's fine. I go to 7. Opponent still can't flip this. Oh, cool. I will play... I probably want to play this land. I am going to use all 6 mana this turn. Trespasser's Curse, target you. Dowsing Dagger. Give opponents some plants. Nice. So this is a lot of life drain here. The backside of this is reasonable. I'll start equipping next turn, though. I very much want to Dreadbore Nicol Bolas this turn. Alright, so opponent taps me down. I draw a Rampaging Ferocidon. I'm probably discarding that to a Croxa. Fatal Push is fine. That was coming, and then this is sorcery speed. We'll go ahead and take care of this now. And I'm at 7. Like, that's very much a real thing. Ooh. Dreadbore on my troll means I don't have my source of card advantage anymore. I hope that's okay. This thing pecking me for 5 is a little annoying. There's a Ferocidon. There's more other Ferocidon. This does cost me a life. But you know, we've got a situation. Losing the troll was kind of a big blow here. I draw something that gives my opponent 2 creatures. Opponent takes 2, 4, 6. Whereas if I draw a troll, it's 3, 6, 9. Still not lethal. I probably have to make this trade here. Also, it's just very awkward for me because, like, I have to top deck an answer to this Croxa. Oh, there's a Fatal Push. Yeah, Fatal Push into... Opponent just, like, straight up fucking forget about this. Black, black, red, red. I mean, I'm good with it. I pay 1... I probably pay 1 life to draw a card if opponent forgot about their Croxa. It's really awkward if they remember. I'm just gonna hope that they forget and play on. Right, there's a Gifted Aetherborn, and we'll see if they remember their Croxa. I die if they do. But it seems like if they, like, play the Croxa last turn, they just win this turn, right? Yeah, they forgot about their Croxa. Oh, cool! This is a we take those situation. I'll go ahead and equip this. Turns into a 4/4 lifelinker now. Battle on in. There's a block with a plant. I go up to 7. Play Ruins. There's not really a 1-drop I can draw that I want to play. So if I draw with Castle Lockwain, I'll just do it at the end of my opponent's turn. What's the Quicken for, though? Alright, they remembered the Croxa. Drain 1 with Trespasser's Curse when this happens. I think I'm just going to go ahead and eat the trigger here, and then draw another card and hope to answer Croxa that way. Alright. Come on, Castle Lockwain. Do your thing. I think I just go ahead and attack in here. That feels fine to me. Just getting the life helps me play around some top deck removal spells and things of that nature. Alright. So now this turns into... Oh, this is optional. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I don't think I transform that. Oh, this is still combat damage. Probably keep the Panharmonicon to just discard it. Yeah, that feels fine to me. Yeah. What is this? Card opponent discards a card at random. Or they discard 2 cards instead. Sure. Just chump blocking this turn. I think I just take 3 from the trigger. So that I can actually draw a card with Castle Lockwain. I think that's fine. Bit of a weird spot. I maybe should have just held this back last turn. And not attacked with it. Alright. Pay 1, draw a card. Land is not great for me. Dowsing Dagger's interesting, right? If I play that, it drains 2. Very specifically here. I can play this out. I can equip this. Turns this into a 6/5. which I think means I'm fine just attacking into Kroxa again, which is wild. And then we will continue to not transform these cards and go from here. Strange game. All right. I think I'm fine taking 9 from Kroxa this turn. There's 3 from the trigger. There's 6 from the direct damage. We'll go to 3. I'm fine going to 2. Like, if my draws don't work out, I just hold back this card instead. Ooh, I might Sign in Blood my opponent for lethal in some worlds. Alright, so... This is awkward, isn't it? My opponent plays a discard spell, which is probably what this card is. I might die to the trigger. I think I'm just kind of crashing in here. Opponent will take their chomp. I'll gain 6 going to 8. There's some cute Castle Locthwain lines that are a little bit of a gamble that I could try to take here. I think this is just better. So let's go ahead and kill the Kroxa. Play out the Panharmonicon. And I'm fine taking 3 from a Kroxa trigger because I will just gain 6 on the backswing. And then my opponent won't be able to replay Kroxa just due to number of cards in graveyard. Alright, here's a Grixis something. Oh, it's an Obnixilis. Not very good at answering that, huh? So there's a Kroxa, which hits my opponent for... Or, which rather drains my opponent for 2, actually. Go to 5. I think my opponent fucked up their turn. I think they're supposed to play Kroxa, then play Obnixilis, sacrificing Kroxa, making 2 Obnixilises that I have to deal with forever. Trespasser's Curse, not a great draw here. I'm in trouble. All I have to do is just draw something that like gives my opponent a creature, and I'm probably good. I think I die in a lot of worlds where that doesn't happen. All right. Let's attempt to kill them, but I'm really just gaining 6 life here. Goodbye, goat. Hello, life. Enchant you with a Trespasser's Curse. And then let's attempt to kill my opponent. I am gambling a little bit here. Fuck. I can draw a Dowsing Dagger to kill my opponent. I can draw Dreadbore to kill Kroxa. I can draw Gifted Aetherborn to have a way to block Kroxa. Yeah, I'm going. Alright, come on, Sign in Blood. Sign in Blood, you fucking traitor. Yeah, I don't think I have any outs here. Yeah, cycle this. Yeah, you were just a few cards too deep. I'm gonna concede. This is a bad sign for the viability of this deck, right? Like, this was turn 13. My opponent didn't do something for most of the game. They forgot about their Kroxa for a while. And we just, like, still couldn't string together a win. Even, like, despite having a card advantage engine. Do I want Pithing Needle for Obnixilis? I don't know. Probably not. I just don't know that I can afford the slots. I also think this game, like, if last game is an indication, this game drags on long enough where maybe I don't want too much discard. I don't know, if it's going to drag on for that long, maybe I do take a Pithing Needle. Just like 1, round out the deck. No? Let's assume no. Man. Leyline feels really important. I keep this hand. Throw back a troll. Like, this shuts off Kroxa as a win condition, and shuts off Obnixilis as a win condition. I actually have to look up which one this is, because I don't know. Adversary? Adversary. So I need to hit another land drop. If I do, I get Sign in Blood, and then, like, the hand is totally functional. If I don't, life's awkward. But I think that's better than going to 5. Okay, sure. Yep, Kroxa's fine. I'll just junk a troll here. I'll keep Dreadbore so that I can deal with, like, a Nicol Bolas that gets played out or something. Alright. We're not doing great here. But, like, opponent's deck doesn't do a lot either, so hopefully that's fine. Cool. We're just gonna chill. If I just take 2 a turn for a few turns, that doesn't matter when something more potent gets in play that I care about it. Yeah, That I care about. This I don't. And I can Dreadbore or Gifted Aetherborn to deal with this, assuming I perfect mana. Assuming I draw a land at some point. I think the mana base for this deck needs to be reevaluated. It very much feels like I'm tripping over my land drops. And I don't think that that should really be the case for what is very nearly a mono black deck, right? Okay. Opponent just playing a bunch of bad beaters is definitely going to beat me if I continue to miss land drops. I take 6 here. Okay, opponent's got Quicken. Is that all they're doing is just Quicken plus discard spells? Yeah, it is. Sure. I don't even know if that was the best card in the hand. Gifted Aetherborn is a removal spell that also gains life. If they have a removal spell for this in hand, like, that's fine. Sure. Okay. Yeah, so I am just going to lose this one to a couple of, like, ignoring all abilities on these cards. Like, I am just losing this game to a bunch of draft commons. Yeah, I'll junk a dagger here. Yeah. I don't think my opponent's deck is good, and I don't mean that as a deck building insult, right? Because, like, I am obviously playing a jank pile myself, but I think my opponent's deck is pretty bad, and I am still losing to it. This is probably going to be an 0-4 drop league. This is what I mean about the mana, right? So, like, I have 2 lands in my starting hand and a Sign in Blood, and my hands don't curve out in a way that allows me to play the Sign in Blood. I'm still going to keep this hand, but, like, there's very much a world where I just, like, am 1 turn behind because my mana doesn't work all game. I am hoping that between 2 draw steps, I will hit another land, and then, like, it's a non-issue. No, I physically can't do that. But in the world where, like, in 2 draw steps, I don't hit another land, and I don't get to curve out, this hand's definitely medium minus. Alright. Okay. Fantastic. So that means I can just play this, reveal my swamp, so that comes into play untapped. And I think since I have my next land drop already, I'm just going to go ahead and play the Gifted Aetherborn, using this as a way to eat a removal spell from my opponent so that my Ferocidon, which is more important to me, ends up living later. Alright. Plan executed. However, you know, opponent is now going to play Greasefang and just kill me on turn 3. Okay, good. Opponent is not just doing the thing as quickly as possible. So I can Rakdos Charm and get rid of this. The thing is, it comes at a great cost to me to hold up that mana. I literally can't do anything else other than Rakdos Charm. I think I just have to fucking live with that, though. It's like, my opponent is going to loot this turn and make some bonus mana. But hopefully I get 2 of these little chippy boys off of this, and I'll feel good about it. Okay, nope. I'm just going to take 2. My opponent gets a treasure. And I played around the combo when I didn't need to. Which is fine. Like, I'm still going to exile this so I don't have to worry about it in the immediate future. But this, like, really doesn't feel good. And if opponent just, like, has another one and then they loot it away, I'm in a bad position for taking this play. Alright, goodbye, your graveyard. Ferocidon or Dreadbore plus Sign in Blood? I think I'm going to get my Ferocidon going. It's not immediately just dead to this. Dead to something else? Dead to something else. Alright, so opponent can start doing this shenanigans, which probably means that I need to Dreadbore this creature. Didn't hit a Parhelion, so that's nice. But I'm very much on the wrong side of the value equation here. What I'm doing is, like, a little bit too janky. Like, my opponent just has, like, a bunch of good value-oriented cards. Need to Dreadbore this Reflection, or I think I'm just dead to it. Just making a whole bunch of blood tokens or otherwise milling. I think I need to Sign in Blood. And just get a little deeper into my deck. Alright. So I have some things that do stuff. What does my opponent has? My opponent has Deadly Dispute. They found another one of these. So now I'm just dead to a Grease Fang happening. I'm in so much trouble. Do you have it? Also, like, these man lines are going to become a problem at some point, too. Oh, what is it? What is that? Oh, it's alternate Sorin art. 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Minus Axe. Turn a creature card. Okay, yeah. Fuck. That's so good. That's so good. Alright. Creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. What a swing. Yeah, I'm ready to concede here. GG. Alright. I am very worried. My opponent's cards are just singularly much more powerful than mine, and I require multiple pieces in order to really start doing my stuff. And my individual single target removal spells don't feel great. I think I might even just, like, play Bantu's Last Reckoning. Just, like, have a way to clear the board of multiple small creatures. Maybe Fatal Push is better. I need these ley lines. And I want to Thoughtseize exactly Greasefang. Otherwise, I don't know that I just keep up with the value that my opponent's cards make. I guess I kind of Braid. Drawing an artifact is pretty sick, actually. Yeah, okay, let's do that. And maybe I'll go down like a Panharmonicon or something. Maybe I have to go down all the Panharmonicons and also just play Fatal Push. The issue being, like, I don't have fetch lands to trigger Revolt consistently, which makes that more awkward. Maybe I do keep some number of Thoughtseizes. Like, with the Bantu's Last Reckoning, if I'm destroying my Trolls and my Ferocidons, I'm just, like, not getting anywhere. Yeah, sure. Alright. So I've got my curve here. Here's the hoping that I can kind of meaningfully... What is Can't Stay Away? Turn target creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Gains if it would die, exile it instead. Oh, that's sick. So taking a creature doesn't really make a lot of sense here. I have Can't Stay Away. I probably just have to take the Planeswalker. Alrighty. I think the Planeswalker is a lot more threatening than, like, the Lightning Axe discarding something and killing my Ferocidon. Yeah, this is sick value. I like this card a lot. Art's also neat. Alright, opponent stepped away for a little while and is back now, I think. Okay. Or maybe not. I don't know. Whatever, I'll play a Sign in Blood. Okay. Playline's okay. Alright, I'm just gonna remove this upkeep stop so I can just build. Okay, there we go. There's the Harvester. And I can just play out a couple of Ferocidons. Good with this getting Lightning Axed. I just, like, wait. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to play it out now. I don't know, like, waiting until after I play the Leyline to play those is maybe okay. Just I play tapped Blood Crypt instead. Alright. Oh, that's a Deadly Dispute. Sure, that's fine. The Sacred Foundry. I'm gonna use that to fling with Lightning Axe. I don't think I want to block here since they have this. I'll go ahead and take that hit. That's a troll. This being tapped when I want to play a 5-drop next turn and a 4-drop this turn is brutal. Alright, let's attempt 3 damage. Success. Yeah, maybe I don't get to fuck around with the Leyline of the Void this game. Fortunately. I think I'm going to be mana inefficient here and play Trespasser's Curse. This means that I don't take a point of damage from my Rampaging Ferocidon. And it also means that if this thing eats end of turn Lightning Axe, I can actually gain life next turn with Trespasser's Curse. Okay, yep. Unfortunately, opponent did have it. So we'll see if they have the Greasefang follow-up. This is gone. No, 2 of their cards. Yeah, there's the Greasefang, and playing the Leyline on my last turn wouldn't have stopped that because they just would have done it in response. So then my opponent just reanimates this, and I'm done. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. This is an attack for an 8 on the surface, and then my opponent also gets 2 creatures, and I go exactly to 0, not counting after the Trespasser's Curse triggers as well. Yeah, it just It just seems like the combination of my cards not being strong and my mana base not being as good as you would expect for a two-color deck where, like, you're not splashing red for that many cards. The combination of those two things is brutal here. All right, round 4, we're on the draw. I have 2 lands. I can cast 2 drops on turn 2. This is going to be a keep. I'm going to need more mana than what I currently have access to. But hopefully between 2 draw steps and a Sign in Blood, we can get there. I may not be able to play the Sign in Blood depending on what my opponent is doing. Okay, so presumably we're playing against some sort of control deck. I think I'm just going to start firing off creatures into it. I would rather have a creature get countered than the Sign in Blood here if something has to get countered. And, like, I can save a bunch of this sort of stuff until later in the game pretty easily. Portable Hole, absolutely. A little annoying for me. I think I'm just going to continue to play creatures into this, and it looks like my opponent, might be F6ing my turn. They might not have counter spells. I don't know. I play less than 1 League of Pioneer a week at this time, so a lot of times I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants, so to speak. Let's attempt to crash in there. See what happens. It works. Let's attempt Sign in Blood. It also works. I guess I'll play a Curse. It would be a little annoying if that ate a Portable Hole or whatever. Alright, resolved. Okay, you want to Field of the Dead me. That's fine. I have a mountain with this one. Like, I have plenty of basics, so you're not going to exhaust my lands here. Yeah. Portable Hole for the Curse is annoying. Yep. Or not. Or not is fine. I'll just cycle this. Like, I can play these Dousing Daggers later. I don't have to play them now. Let's just go ahead and cycle this. Yeah. And this is the thing. Like, every Rampaging Ferocidon type card that I draw will just improve these later. And I can maybe, like, even wait out till, like, Panharmonicon type cards. Yeah. I like it when my opponents don't play cards that kill me. Thanks. So that's a no. Do I want to start playing cards to get them out of my hand so that I can, like, more reasonably Castle Lock Dwayne? The answer here might just be yes. Alright. So this will be worth 4 life. And that life I can funnel into Castle Lock Dwayne, hopefully draw some cards with it. You just Field of Ruining me? Oh, it's a Wandering Emperor. Yeah. Huh. Okay, these are good. So I can Dreadbore and kill that Planeswalker next turn, and then, like, largely be okay. Like, hurts a little bit, but my curses are going to do more damage than this token will, at least in the short term. Rampaging Ferocidon. Cool. I am just going to Dreadbore this Planeswalker. Like, let's get this board under control. Always play that. Saying no. I think I'm going to Dreadbore the token. And then next turn play Ferocidon into Dousing Dagger. A little awkward if they have another Wandering Emperor. I think I'm good with it. 3 mana over there. Counter target spell, you gain 3 life. Sure. Yeah, and I think I just wait until next turn to play these out, because my opponent just, like, incidentally gained some life, which isn't great for me. So I think I'll just try to maximize value from my cards. This, ooh, that's scary. How much does this activate? 6. Sure. So they're not quite to that yet. That's fine. At some point, Field of Ruin getting rid of my Castle Lock Dwayne is annoying for me. But we are not there now. This is awkward, right? Because, like, now my Trespasser's Curse doesn't gain me life because of this. So it's worth a lot of damage, though. Well, let's always yield to these bad boys. But I stay at 18 here. And then I'll go ahead and equip this. Like, I have a 5/4 Menace creature that is going to be even bigger than that as of next turn. So we'll see where that goes. Opponent is shocking. That is scary to me. 5 mana. Big Teferi. Is that just plus? Oh, that just plussed. Okay. Sure. Just cycle this immediately. Absolutely fine thought seizing you, getting a feel for what's up over there, maybe playing around some combat only removal spell. Oh, just just a few things going on. Excel all artifacts, all creatures, all enchantments, all graveyards. Okay. Understood. I probably have to get rid of that card. So this is just going to get blocked by 2 plants. And then I'm going to want to draw with Castle Locktwain. I don't really want to spend mana equipping here. We'll go ahead and draw a card now. Okay, well, in that case, turn it into a 7/5 menace creature. Attack them directly because this is technically a lethal threat. 2 plants go in front of the boss as expected. And my opponent can just, like, Supreme Verdict away the board and then just have a Teferi and a Hall of Storm Giants to work with. And at some point, they feel to ruin this land so I can stop drawing extra cards. I think my opponent's quite favored here. There's also worlds where they just activate Hall of the Storm Giants and just fucking punch me in the face. That's a thing, too, technically. A little risky. It seems like they're going to go for it. They're just going to try to kill me next turn, because I have 2 plant tokens here. The thing is that if I draw something that kills a plant token because of this... Or no, shit, this has Vigilance. Ooh. That actually might have been the line, given that Trespasser's Curse, not great here. Probably just need to, like, not play this and just immediately draw with Castle Locktwain to keep the most mana available. Very awkward that I can't gain life here. Alright, let's attempt this. Dousing Dagger. Alright. I attempt to do this. I'm going to end up just short of killing my opponent. I attack them, they block with 2 plants, and then I drain them for 4. And then they have lethal. Ah! Plant tokens coming back to bite me. Also, like, Rampaging Ferocidon and Trespasser's Curse having negative. Oh, wait, shit. I forgot about double triggers. It's 2 plants, not 1 plants. Haha! Cool. Okay, I have Pithing Needle for Big Teferi. I don't know how I'm supposed to be that 6-mana sweeper that just, like, fucks everything. I don't know that I really do. I probably don't get to play these. I probably just, like, play Pithing Needles and some number of Duresses instead. Probably don't play Rakdos Charm. I think I keep the Panharmonicons. I think the matchup is slow enough where that's acceptable. It's possible I do, like, this and this. And just, like, get better at stopping the Planeswalkers from hitting play. My hand's okay in terms of, like, reactionary stuff. I don't have a lot of proactive stuff. I think I'm just going to keep this rather than mulliganing. My mana is a little awkward here. I don't think I need to play Duress on turn 1. I am going to start getting some of these ETB tapped lands out of the way. Like, I'm more interested in playing Duress a few turns down the line. If I play this, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand, so I don't necessarily want to Sign in Blood now. I'm fine with playing a Curse, though. Playing Curse before Portable, like, doing Duress to check for Portable Hole is kind of weird, but eh. You know what? Let's continue to go this route and get these tapped lands out of the way. And just, like, play towards curving out into my more powerful cards. Is this? Destroy target creature or Planeswalker. Sure. Dream Trawler. Alright. I think in the immediate future, I am most scared of the Wandering Emperor. It's like my opponent can play that while holding up their mana for Absorb a couple turns down the lines. Yeah, that's all fine. Attempt to curse my opponent here. See if this is good enough for the Absorb from their point of view. It is not. I'll let this enter tapped. Not give my opponent information that I have the extra lands. Alright, opponent's got an end step action. Are they just going to make a 1/1 shark? They're just going to make a 1/1 shark. I assume they're doing this to hit land drops, but if they were going to do this, they really should have done it with this trigger on the... Or, sorry, with this card on the stack. And I'll take my 1 from the shark in combat and be totally fine with that. Sign in Blood as the bait spell. Whole Dream Trawler being basically immune to removal thing is going to be really annoying. My Dreadbore isn't going to kill it. I wonder if Panharmonicon is good enough to get the absorb. Seems like yes. It is. Okay, and then I can start thinking about Troll or Sign in Blood plus some other card next turn. The Fateful Absent can kill my Troll, though, which is awkward. Aha! I like where this is going. I do wish it was Thoughtseize, though, because like now that I know that my opponent very specifically has Dream Trawler, that was not a card I was expecting to have to beat. Ooh. Oh, fuck. Actually, not going to be the worst. Dovin's Veto, probably rough for me. Although the Fateful Present isn't, but Dovin's Veto is probably worse. Makes my options significantly worse. Nuke this Planeswalker. Oddly gets to respond to that. I take one from the Trespasser's Curse. And then I can go ahead and get a draw 2 out of this. Okay. Still don't really know how I beat the Dream Trawler long term. But I'm working towards being able to fuck with a lot of the other stuff there. Like, I can get rid of the Fateful Absence and then play Clackbridge Troll. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Alright. So, Duress you. Take a counterspell if my opponent has drawn one. They haven't. Take the Fateful Absence here. Because I want them to cast a Supreme Verdict at some point and clear this shit out of the way. And I'll just play Panharmonicon, and then next turn I slam a Troll and deal with Jillion D damage with it. Then I play another one after they play Supreme Verdict and clear their own creatures out. Right, 3 damage, I go to 12. Okay, that's what they drew. So, Dream Trawler triggers this twice. And then we start trolling. I play Clackbridge Troll, which is going to resolve. I give my opponent a shit ton of goats. Yeah. Let's always yield to that. Let's always yield to the 6 Trespasser's Curse triggers from the first Clackbridge Troll resolving. Fucking beautiful. Moments like these make the jank decks worth playing. This is sick. Absolutely sick. And I'll go to combat. And I'll sacrifice a goat in all likelihood. Oh no, they're just gonna block. Noble goats, we salute you today. Sacrifice your lives, protecting Yunna's life total from tramply troll damage. Opponent takes 2 there. And we'll see how much life my opponent gains back with this. It's very relevant because I am about to like hit them for a bunch with my troll. We'll also see if they feel the need to cast Supreme Verdict this turn. They may or may not, depending on what their hand looks like. Oh, they've got a Fateful Absence. Sure. Play Ruins. No. Play a Troll. Opponent has Supreme Verdict and 1 unknown card in hand. Ha ha! So, there's 6 drain from the first set of Troll activations, which puts my opponent to 4. And then the second set of triggers happens, which kills my opponent. Hot damn, we got a win with the Troll deck. I'm very happy. I was absolutely worried that like we were just like not going to have game after kind of how the first few rounds went. But that was pretty sick. Okay, so I don't quite have anything yet in terms of like really winning the game, but I think I have enough here that this is fine. Let's just get you out of the way this turn. I can Foreboding Ruins next turn. So my curve this game is probably Aetherborn, Ferocidon, and Harmonicon Dousing Dagger. Assuming that nothing changes here. I don't know exactly what I am playing against. Let's make sure I get this into play untapped while that is a thing that matters. And we'll see if my Gifted Aetherborn eats an end of turn removal spell of some kind. It does. Again, though, every removal spell that hits a Gifted Aetherborn is one that doesn't hit my dinosaur, which is like much, much more important to me in the long term. Yeah, absolutely. This is a classic mono black card. Like, not quite as old, not quite as much of a pedigree as Sign in Blood, but pretty legit card. It's dinosaur time. Bub-a-dub-dub-dub-dub. Wait, those were zombies. Okay. I have legitimately no idea what my opponent is doing right now. I wonder if they are just like a green-black or Jund mid-rangey deck. Seeming like that's the case. Yeah, that's fine. Take your value. Panharmonicon or another Rampaging Ferocidon plus Thoughtseize. If I draw a land next turn, I can Ferocidon and Dowsing Dagger, or I can Panharmonicon and Thoughtseize. Unsure. Let's go ahead and just take my attack first while I think about it. Like, this has Menace, so I'm not worried about the blocking here. When it goes to 14, I think I'm just going to Thoughtseize and play a second Ferocidon. I don't know what my opponents do. Oh, what the fuck is that? Your opponent sacrifices a creature. If they can't, life, draw a card, then repeat for enchantment and Planeswalker. So it's a giant burn spell. That's a lot of damage. I think I just have to accept that. Take their decay, though. And play my Ferocidon. Deals a damage to me. But I just don't think I can take the Invoke Despair and leave them with, like, Push and Abrupt Decay, where they get to just, like, sack a clue, push one of these, Abrupt Decay the other, and then I've just, like, lost so much of my board. 5 mana. Alright. Goodbye to one of those. Okay, cool. My Dowsing Dagger has gotten considerably worse. One Ferocidon gone. I'm just gonna Clue Token, sack, kill this next turn. I guess there's worlds where they don't do that and they do something else instead. Oh, like, I'm requiring multiple pieces for stuff to, like, go together here. And, like, I'm definitely feeling the weight of requiring those multiple permanents here. They don't need too much more to, like, pull ahead and do cool shit this game, but I think I'm just gonna kind of be on the wrong side of tempo unless I draw the 2-mana enchantment. Yes. Dreadbore on the Tireless Tracker would also be pretty legit. I would be, like, plenty happy with that. 4 here from that card, sure. Oh, God, that's gonna be hard to beat. That just gets to start eating immediately. I can't play this. I'm short on mana. 4, 7, 8, 9. I have to Sign in Blood or I'm dead, but I don't know where Sign in Blood gets me. Dreadbore, I guess, is pretty good. Just 3 mana. Yeah. Alright. I am dead. So, got creatures to worry about. So here's my problem with sideboarding here. I am bad at turning on Revolt for Fatal Push for Tireless Tracker. And a Braid is going to miss cards like Tireless Tracker and Scavenging Ooze after a little while. So there's that. And again, I can play something like Bantu's Last Reckoning, but it blowing up my Rampaging Ferocidons is kind of a huge deal. So I think I'm not sideboarding? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Like, the Rakdos Charm is kind of whatever, but can be a really cool way to, like, get the finishing points of damage on my opponent. This doesn't have enough mana. Nap Mulligan. I'll keep this. The Rakdos Charm is going to go here. Mana's going to work out okay this game. Some worlds where I have to shock with Blood Crypt on turn 2, but I think there's a lot of worlds where I avoid doing that. Multiple Panharmonicons will be interesting if this game goes extremely long. That can just get gross. All right. Land, Ferocidon. I expect it to just eat an Abrupt Decay immediately, but, like, since I have multiple Panharmonicons to just play out anyway, I think I'm just okay with it. Straight up Cultivate. Absolutely. I guess that gets my opponent closer to the Invoke Despair type cards, which will be very good against me. Panharmonicon. Crash in for 3. And we'll see what my opponent can do. Elder Gargaloth. Okay. We're going to kill that. We are absolutely going to kill that. That eats a Dreadbore. Hit my opponent for 3. Wish I had one more mana to just, like, play out the other Panharmonicon this turn. Tireless Tracker is fine. I have a Dreadbore for that. These double triggers with Panharmonicon are absolutely doing fucking work, though. Like, it's very, very noticeable. 2 mana, crack a clue. Hopefully I don't eat a Fatal Push here. Because, like, my Panharmonicon loses a lot of stock without a way of hurting my opponent in play. I think I am just going to Dreadbore this creature and accept the tapped land here. Very specifically, since I have Castle Locthwain in play, it becomes more awkward if my opponent Field of Ruins me this turn, though. Another Cultivate, sure. Are you going to Field of Ruin me? No, it's another Cultivate. Okay. Opponent has big mana and a lot of lands in hand. Alright. There is a second Panharmonicon. Again, they are not legendary, even though it, like, kind of feels like they should be. We'll see what big dumb thing my opponent can do. Oh. Well, that's legit. Never really thought I'd see that card seeing play in Constructed, but here we are. It's an absolute shame that I don't get double Panharmonicon triggers for this. Alright, always yield. Where's that Rakdos Charm, though? Where's that Rakdos Charm now? That's okay. Like, I have a card advantage engine starting here. And, like, maybe it's possible I'm supposed to hold that Troll, but, like, my opponent's deck has discard. And I think just getting the one card is potentially just worth it. Opponent's tapped and untapped some mana here. Yeah, okay. I unfortunately have to sacrifice my creature. Card's sick. Alright. 9 in blood. Target me. Dreadbore not great right now. I don't mind having it. I think I'll just cycle this, though. Dousing Dagger's kind of whatever here. Just, like, not easily going to get in with it. It's fine if I find, like, a curse. But, like, these big cards like Casualty of War and Invoke Despair that just, like, incidentally deal with my opponent, like, my permanents, is making it so that I can't stack up things the way that I want. What does this get to sacrifice? Okay, only vampires or zombies, luckily. Sure, I'll Dreadbore that. Yuck. Alright, opponent gets an extra zombie out of that. Hey-oo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need to just do this. This lifelink is too threatening. My question from there is, like, do I even play out the Ferocidon this turn? I think I just wait till next turn. Could be wrong. These Invoke Despairs are scary. I don't know. Like, I am a little tight on mana. I'm gonna go ahead and jam it now. Like, it blocks this zombie token. My opponent attacks with it. Just worse against a sorcery speed removal spell. Jesus. Okay. That's not scary at all. Now my opponent gets to take one of my turns, which means they just get to kill my Rampaging Ferocidon. Yeah, okay. That's a punish that I was not expecting. Yeah. They just block with Emrakul and a goat, order it so I deal my damage to Emrakul first. And this thing very specifically hits for 13 flying damage in the air. Which is scary. Opponent should absolutely play my Dousing Dagger here so that I can't use it for damage in the future. Yeah, they're just tapping all my lands. Yep, there's the punish. There's a Trespasser's Curse. Play a land. Play a Dousing Dagger. Alright, so my Dousing Dagger triggers twice. Which means my Trespasser's Curse for the plants triggered twice. Which means that my opponent is dead. And we beat the Emrakul. Like, opponent punted that one. We take those. Do I want something like Bantu's Last Reckoning to have another out to Emrakul? Playing Bantu's Last Reckoning is very awkward versus Emrakul when I care about Rampaging Ferocidon, though. I think I'm just resubmitting the game 1 deck again. I don't know, like, maybe I duress. This hand's totally reasonable. My opponent has just, like, very good endgame that is absolutely horrifying. Ooh, I love having multiple curses here. It means that one of them getting Abrupt Decayed or Edicted away has less of an impact on my game. Yeah, sure, shock away. Nope. Just chilling. And I think I am just going to get these curses into play as soon as possible. Playing out Gifted Aetherborn into the Fatal Push here just, like, doesn't feel great in terms of mana efficiency and turn cycles and stuff. The opponent's sitting here and thinking, ooze. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Again, I don't really want to play Gifted Aetherborn out into a removal spell, and it also just, like, potentially will be more food for a Scavenging Ooze. So I think I'm just going to play this and get a tapped land out of the way this turn. And then next turn can be Aetherborn and Dowsing Dagger at the same time. And I think I'm good with that. These drains are nice. Like, they are drains specifically, unless I control Ferocidon, in which case they are just damage. I'll take my 2 here. And then opponent does not have black mana up specifically. Yeah. Alright. There's Gifted Aetherborn. There's the Dowsing Dagger, which is worth 4 points of drain. Very nice. Troll is worth a lot of fucking drain. Opponent's got good card advantage engine and good options, but yeah. Okay, there's that Fatal Push I played around, so pretty happy with that. Opponent gets to eat it. I'll get cracked for 6, which oddly I don't actually care that much about. I would very much like to hit an untapped land. Like, untapped land is so huge. Rakdos Charm, pretty good, though. So let's Dowsing Dagger, which will drain my opponent for 4. Always yield to that. And then I will Rakdos Charm them at the end of their turn. Or if they do anything that might remove a Trespasser's Curse. Yeah, that's all fine. Man, I would be stoked if we win 2 matches with this deck, honestly. I don't really want to get Field of Ruined. Like, it's obviously happening. I can't stop it, but I really just want my deck to have as many lands as possible in it. Triggers my opponent's Tireless Tracker again. I'm waiting to play the Rakdos Charm until end of turn, so that if my opponent plays out another creature, I get an extra damage out of it. Alright. Each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Ha-ha! Okay. Fatal Push one of your own cards. Ooh, I'm going to get multiple removal spells out of this. What is this? Oh, wild. Okay. I am only getting 4 damage out of this card instead. Okay. Maybe I should have not waited. Anyway, here's plants. Another Dowsing Dagger. Rains for 4. At this point, resolving either one of these trolls is lethal. Like, I have to be a little bit careful because, like, my opponent has, like, just shown me that they do have some life gain cards. Wouldn't yield to those. This was an unexpected card. Destroy target non-land permanent and opponent controls. That's actually super relevant, right? That means a troll isn't lethal anymore as of right now. I'm going to take 8. What's the middle mode of this? Search for a land. Sure. Ferocidon is good. Ferocidon means troll is lethal again as of next turn. So my opponent has 8 damage showing, so I don't need to block. Actually, how many times can they crack clues? That is relevant here. Ow. So I sacrifice this. I sacrifice an enchantment, and now I don't think I can win anymore. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I get hit for 9 going to 1, and then I don't think I have a single card that can just deal 4 damage to my opponent's face here. Yeah, opponent being able to answer these enchantments just casually is rough. Yeah. Potentially, if I played the Rakdos Charm with different timing, I win that game by signing blooding my opponent here, but then, like, maybe they hold this and end up getting more life out of it. So, I'm just gonna show myself the door here. Alright. And we end up 1-4 in this league. Overall thoughts on the deck list. Awesome idea, probably not powerful enough for the format. So, like, this deck, to really do its thing, requires Trespasser's Curse or Rampaging Ferocidon, and one of these 2 cards. The Panharmonicon is the thing that really sets it over the top and makes it work. So if we treat this as a 3-card combo, which it not quite is, but if we treat it like a 3-card combo, that, like, if you assemble all 3 of these, it wins the game, but each one of the individual pieces is pretty weak, it's rough. So, one of the issues is, like, Pioneer has a decent amount of removal, right? And so it's not just assemble A and B plus you win, it's assemble A and B, and some of these things are going to sit on the battlefield for multiple turns where they can be disrupted. And you don't really have the mana to dump everything out in one turn because, like, some of these things cost 5. Troll is sick if it gets going, but if you play Troll and then your opponent removes it and you don't, like, have that as a consistent card draw engine, like, it's not getting you to where you need to go. I don't know the lands well enough in Pioneer to know what your mana base options are, but I kind of felt like I was tripping over my own lands a bit. Like, Foreboding Ruins is rough when you're playing. I guess that's a bad example. When you're playing things like Dragon Skull Summit and Castle Locthwain that don't contribute to it coming in untapped, right? And the cycle lands always entering tapped means it's much harder to curve out into your 4 and 5 drops that you really need to play on turn 4 and 5. So I would be interested in reworking the mana base of this deck. I also don't really like the sideboard. Again, I'm not super familiar with the card pool, so I don't know what my best options are. But it feels like mostly I can't really mess with too many cards in the core of the deck list, assuming I always need to keep the Sign-in Bloods. Like, these are the cards that I reasonably felt like I could board out and Panharmonicon in some situations, but, like, if you're trying to win the game with this combo, you can't really touch the core. And so, like, taking cards out was tough, and I didn't feel like the cards that I were bringing in were, like, A-plus cards. I don't know that Bonte's Last Reckoning is playable. I get the value that it offers, but again, if I sweep one of these out of play, it becomes so much harder for me to win. So I think this was a case of, like, cool idea, but probably needs to be relegated to the casual tables. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button on the way out. If you have any thoughts about the mana base or the sideboard, feel free to throw those in the comments, and I'll take a look at them. Have a great rest of the day. See ya!